Good morning, everyone. Got your coffee? I've got mine. So, listen, I had the best day yesterday. I had the most wonderful day yesterday. Yesterday, I was able to get back out into the community and resume delivering senior bags to the homebound seniors in my community. And let me tell you, I was missed. I was, and it wasn't just because I delivered food to their door, but they just missed talking to me, seeing my face, and I felt a little bit like a celebrity. I did. They made me feel so good, y'all. It was a really, really nice day yesterday. I didn't get an opportunity to go to the new coffee house that I said I wanted to go to. You know, that black-owned one in West Columbia that just opened up. I didn't have the opportunity to go get there, which is what I usually do on a Wednesday, because I'm just getting over, not feeling so good, and by the time I did everything that I did yesterday, I just was tired, and so I didn't get the opportunity to go. But soon. But in the meantime, in between time, I was missed, and I appreciated all of the laughter, the jokes, the conversation. It was awesome. I wish I could have just took y'all along. It was amazing. I did go to my P.O. Box. And y'all, we have to have another conversation. Another gentle conversation, because I never want to come off wrong. You know what I'm saying? But before I do that, there are people that I need to say thank you to. I need to say thank you so much to Edward. Edward, thank you so much for always contributing to the library pantry and just always being willing to share and donate, and just the fact that you care and you believe in me. It means a lot to me. It really does. Especially, my sisters, don't get me wrong, my sisters are my big support group. But, whenever the brothers step in, and they're like, hey, sister, this is for the community, it makes me feel a way, because I wish we had just more black men who were community driven, and we had more black men who led the community, because black women, we need that help. We need that assistance. We need y'all. So thank you so much. I want to say also thank you to Andrea. Andrea, thank you so much for contributing to the library pantry as well. And I want to say thank you to Judith. Judith, not new to this either. Thank you so much, my love. I appreciate you. And I want to say thank you to Lonnie. Lonnie, your generous donation and your support will go so far in helping us rebuild stock and get the pantry back to where it was. We're getting there. We are, because we've had some people step in with some generous donations, and we are getting there. Thank you so much for that wonderful donation and your wonderful support. I appreciate it. Now, I went to my library, not my library. I got the library pantry because I got to go out there and fill it up. So it's really on my mind right now. And I'm hoping that I have time to do that before I leave to take Don to work. But anyway, y'all see the size of this envelope? The size of this envelope? This, I kid you not, is the size of my P.O. Box. I have the smallest P.O. Box, y'all. And the reason why I have the smallest P.O. Box, here, let's pick this one up because it's a little neater. The reason why my P.O. Box is this size, y'all, is a matter of fact, listen, this is a very, very small post office box inside a very, very small post office. The post office itself ain't very big. It reminds you of kind of one of those post offices that you would kind of see in a small town. Yeah, it's not a very big post office at all. And so they're limited on room. And I understand why they keep having conversations with me when big boxes are shipped to a post office box that's only this big. So, again, I try to be careful with my words because I don't want to come off ungrateful. I just want to help y'all be practical. You know, it's a good thing to be able to send letters. I love getting y'all letters. You can slide a book in here, you know, when we need books. Right now we're good on books. But those bigger packages, y'all, they're just not practical. Yesterday, someone sent 2 big boxes, and they were filled with coats. And this is my anonymous supporter, and I thank you so much for that. However, we said early on, because I wanted people to be aware, because people were asking. Last year, we did a coat drive. This year, it was a lot of work. A lot of work. You have to reconfigure and reset up the pantry in order to be able to do a coat drive. And it's not as easy as just taking all those coats you sent and putting them inside the pantry, especially after it just went through a reconfiguring because of this whole SNAP thing. And now we're finally back, with normal operations. You have to put out a coat rack. You have to put out the community word. You have to let people know. I have to be ready for people to drive by and stop by, park in my driveway, that kind of thing. It's a lot. It's not as simple. It's just, not to mention, I don't have the room for the coats in there, and I don't have the storage space in my home. This shelf behind me, this is an overflow shelf. I tend to keep the books for the library pantry on this shelf, and anything that I can't put on the big industrial shelf. We've got another bigger industrial shelf that takes up most of my dining room, and that's where most of the food products are. And my house, it's a 1,500 square foot house. Y'all have to be aware of that when y'all send things to the library pantry. I don't always have the room for it inside the house. What we're going to do with those coats, because they were lovely coats, but I just don't have the manpower, the room, the configuration to give away those coats. And we're not going to do a coat drive this year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive those coats over to the women's shelter so that they don't get, so that they're utilized. But I do thank you, and I know that you meant well. I also received your lovely letter with it. And thank you so much for the continued support. You sent money for coffee, money for the pantry. Thank you so much, my love. I appreciate you. But I did want to talk to y'all about that, because then they start talking to me at the post office, and I don't want to have those very uncomfortable conversations. And so y'all understand, right? Hopefully y'all do. I know that you all mean well. Oh, goodness grief. Hold on right there. Sorry about that. One of my letters failed. But this is about practicality and just being practical, you know. I'm sorry, y'all. But that's what I'm going to do with those, you know. So now I have to make some time in my schedule to figure out when I have time to go over there and do that with everything else that I have to do. But I do thank you, and I know that you meant well, honey. I know that you meant well. But thank you so much. And then I got another letter. Look at this letter. Wait, let me not put it up because there's an address on it. I love the yellow. Let me get the card. This wonderful human being supported the library pantry. But look at the card. And they sent a donation to the library pantry. I'm on 10 minutes already. One day, I'm going to buy myself a really, I keep all of my cards down here in this drawer. Y'all can't see it, but you can hear it. This drawer of my desk. And one day, I'm going to find me a really pretty box to put all my letters in, because I love getting the letters. This one is from Miss Valerie Smith. Pink is my favorite color. Look at the stamp. Look at the stamp. Look at the card. Is that not dopeness personified? And Miss Valerie also sent some support for the library pantry. Thank you so much, Miss Valerie. And then Miss Barbara Brown, I got your letter. I once knew a Barbara Brown. She was the oldest child of my uncle by marriage, Robert Brown. And she had a brother named Gerald Brown, but I know that's not you, but I just knew a Barbara Brown. Oh, and her mom's name was Barbara Brown, too. She was like a Barbara Brown Jr. But I got your wonderful, wonderful card. This card is and it had this beautiful gold sealed on it, on the back of it. And I got your wonderful support for the library pantry. I also read yours. This card, what you said about me in this card. Thank you so much for those words, that kindness. It's words like that that keep me motivated, keep me inspired to keep doing this work. Thank you, Miss Barbara. And then this person, their style is top tier. I want to cover it up. She hand makes these cards. Her name is Naomi. And she hand makes these cards. Look at this is a handmade card, y'all, so that y'all can understand the dopeness of it. Handmade. Look at the card that's inside of it. Handmade. This takes patience and love. And she wrote me a nice little letter that is just for me. And I understand, Naomi. I got you. Thank you so much. Naomi was also the person who, she sent a box one time, and it had those wonderful bookmarks in it. Those bookmarks went really fast, and I should have held one back for myself, but I didn't. I put every single last one of them out in the library pantry, and they all went just like that, along with the affirmation cards, just like that. They were all handmade, y'all. And then last but not least, Exanthia. I got your letter, dear. Exanthia sent me this wonderful letter. I like getting letters. I'm someone who still appreciates the art of a handwritten letter. I'm old school. I can remember being a kid in school and learning how to write handwritten letters. And, that was back when that was an art form. And I think that's why I have such a good penmanship. I write exactly like my mother does, though. We've got the same exact handwriting. So I guess even something like handwriting can be hereditary. But anyway, look. This is love. I won't show them all because I don't want to keep burning time. Because there is something that I want to say to you all. Oh, also too, I almost forgot. I received 2 more packages. One was filled with ramen noodle. And another was filled with ramen noodle, like some snacks for the kids. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. And something else was in there. I forget what else was in there. I want to thank you all so much for your wonderful support of the Library Pantry. But one last thing, once again, keep in mind that it's a very small post office with a very small post office box. And again, I get the smallest post office box because, well, for one, they don't have bigger ones because it's a small post office. These is filled with post office boxes that are this size, y'all, because it's such a small post office. But I get the smallest post office box like that because it's what I can afford. It's what I can afford. When we first discussed and people said, you know, you should get a P.O. box. You should get a P.O. box. And I thought, okay. And then I said, you know, but, you know, my money was kind of funny. You know, I'm not going to lie to y'all. My money was kind of funny. And I didn't know if I could keep it up. And then someone said that they would do that for me. They were like, just let me know whenever you need to renew your post office box and I'll send in the payment for it. That happened one time. I mentioned it the second time and you guessed it. You know, maybe something changed for that person. But it didn't, let's just say it didn't happen again. And so, but it's what I can maintain. And hey, I have no problem with that. I don't have any problem with that. It's just that, you know, the bigger ones, the really big items, and like I said, my husband, he did get an earful yesterday. So let's just be practical, guys, okay? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Now, what I want to say is this. Excuse me. What I want to say is this. Black people, I'm just coming at y'all with a reminder because look, and once again, I know how hard it is, and y'all have to be reminded every so often because Black people, we are so conditioned. We are so conditioned to defend everyone except ourselves. We are. And we are so conditioned to serve, and we are so conditioned to martyr ourselves, and we are so conditioned to be everyone else's ally when no one is our ally. And with that being said, I realize what's going on with ICE and that these, excuse me, that these, I don't even know what to call it at this point, that these ICE raids are really picking up. They're really scary. They're becoming dangerous. To be honest with you, the way they're pulling guns on citizens, I'm wondering how long it's going to be before they start. Excuse me. I still got a little bit of that left over. But I was fine yesterday. I bundled up really well, even though it was 80 degrees outside. But by the time it hit the high, I was already back home. But I was bundled up and everything. But anyway, I'm wondering how long it's going to be before they start shooting citizens. You know, let them Latinos and them white folks deal with that. Because they're the ones that put this man in office. Black people didn't do that. And y'all are, I saw a video yesterday where, excuse me, where this brother got out of his car and he and his girlfriend, they were in the car. And he told her, pull over. And they're chasing ICE into the woods and surrounding ICE. Mind you, these people got weapons on them. Excuse me. Don't sacrifice yourselves like that. Don't be willing to put yourself in harm's way like that for people that we try so hard to tell them not to vote for this man, not to put him in, not to put him in office. Don't do this to your people. We reminded them about them kids in cages. We reminded them about those forced-on hysterectomies. We reminded them about the way that they were hunted down and treated like criminals. We reminded them about their missing kids that they still ain't found. We reminded them that he called them rapists and murderers. We reminded them of all of that. And what did we get in return? We got jingles. I will vote for Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, I vote for Trump. That's what we got. And that's why right now they're running around for their lives. You got to let people live in their consequences. Black people, this is not our work. It's not on us. We have had to save ourselves countless, numerous times, all throughout history, over and over and over and over and over again. And no one, for the most part, really stands in solidarity with us. And that's cool. That's cool. We can do the work. We're capable of doing the work. Because it's our work. It's our work. But they are not our work. Y'all putting yourselves in harm's way, jumping out at these ICE agents. These are armed people. And they get more and more and more and more aggressive as the days go by. And I just want my people safe. I told y'all about that time when a little caravan, an ICE caravan, pulled up alongside of me. And I started to pull over and report icy conditions up ahead. But I thought about that. Sometimes excuse me. Sometimes it's hard to watch people suffer their consequences. But it's their consequences to suffer. And this last election that we had on November 4th, take a look at the chart and see how they voted this time around. The Latinos, mostly this time around, even though they were state and local elections, voted Democratic. So maybe they're learning their lesson. Sometimes a hard head make a soft ass. Y'all have to let people live in their consequences, and these are their consequences. These are the consequences of their actions. I mean, it just kind of is what it is. But putting your black bodies on the line for people that wouldn't do it for y'all, I just don't think that's the answer. I just don't think that's the answer. I know that might sound a little rough, but redirect that energy into your own community, because I'm trying to tell you, your own people catching hell. Black women lost their jobs. Black children had SNAP benefits withheld from them. Our schools and our communities are not being fully funded. We have to pay attention to these kids. We have to raise better kids. We have to educate our own kids. We have to rebuild our communities. We got our own work to do. That's their work. Let them live their consequences. Ain't nobody out here saving us. I'm just saying, stay safe. With that being said, that's all that I have. If you would like to support the platform, or just buy me a cup of coffee, or help the library pantry, I'll leave my Cash App and Venmo down in the comments. Y'all have a good day. Have a righteous day. Don't be nobody's problem today. Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. I know this was a long one. Thank you for sticking with me.